Jay Massey is a full-time real estate investor. He's an entrepreneur.
He also teaches people how to find deals, raise capital for real estate investments.
All right, good morning, people. How are you? So I'm hoping things are going well for you and you are excited about today already. And oops, that doesn't need to be there. For those of you who I'm meeting for the first time, welcome. My name is Jay, and what we do here at the Cashflow Diary is we go live, we share information that hopefully builds you, helps you become a bigger, better, badder entrepreneur. As many of you may know, depending on how long we have known each other, we've been in the education game for quite a while, helping individuals build their business primarily through real estate, usually short-term rentals, especially right now, because that is the real estate strategy we know to be, well, in high demand and definitely something that nearly everyone can do. We proudly have students in well over 16 different countries practicing this particular strategy, and it's pretty exciting to be a part of it. Now, if this is your first time here, do me a favor, go ahead and in the chat right now, type the word FIRST, F-I-R-S-T. And as always, we are, yes, of course, testing something, always doing our best, trying to get a little bit better every day. We talked about it before, 1% improvement per day, right? That's kind of the idea, 1% improvement per day. So the goal for today, or at least the information that we're going to deliver to you today, is to help you take one more step. One more step. That's going to become important later, so make sure that you hear exactly what we just said right there. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, just again as a reminder, we are going to be, or in the process of, building a brand new Facebook page. So you want to get over to facebook.com/Cashflow Diary Live. And for those of you who are not yet on YouTube, well, you are already, if you are on YouTube, you're in the right spot. If you're not yet, please go on over there, because that way you will make sure to always get each and every live stream that we're doing and all of the videos that will be coming soon. Those of excuse me. Those of you who are looking for, wanting, and wondering about where is the short-term rental information, obviously, we still do that. And you can catch up with us over at cashflowdiary.com/learn live. Again, that's cashflowdiary.com/learn live. The intent there is to help you become a bigger, better, badder version of whomever you are, so that you can then execute real estate strategies. In fact, over the next 2 days, Wednesday and Thursday, the next 2 days that are coming, we will be doing a presentation where I'm going over the entire business model. Literally all of the, you will be able to take your first steps over the next 2 days into getting started. And I will be right there guiding you. The team will be right there with you, pushing you forward to do all of the things necessary to get your business off the ground over the next 2 days. Now, we will be starting what is early California time at 6:30 in the morning. Either way, if that's something that you're interested in, you want to get over to cashflowdiary.com/learn live. Also, as a note, for those of you who are in our regular Facebook group, we have designated a special area for this particular presentation. So if you have a desire or an interest to be there, then you're going to want to also register as well. All right, let's see what we've got here. Oops, well, that didn't work. 1, 2. Excellent. Done. Give me one quick second, because something is showing not working on my end, and I just want to make sure. If you can, do me a favor, somebody just type any word, just one word, especially one person on YouTube and one person on Facebook. Just type something in the chat. I just want to make sure that something that you guys can A, hear me, and B, what I'm looking at is actually kind of true here. So this was right, that's right, and next, and done. Excellent. Thank you, Stephanie. I wanted to make sure that I was looking at the right thing. All right, so that is working. Okay, you guys got jokes. Thanks, I appreciate it. You guys got jokes. So, I want to get into the content real fast. Hey, Asher, thank you. Awesome. Hey, Dean, thank you. Now, let's see if that worked. Oh, whoa, look at that. It actually worked. That is amazing. Sorry, I'm pretty excited because you guys know the challenges we've been having trying to get certain things to work. Let's see if the YouTube one is working. Yeah, oh yeah, we're on to something now. This might just be good. Okay, so with all of that being said, guys, as I've said before, and I want to say again, you cannot learn and look good at the same time. This has been a constant process of working to learn and how to deliver content in this format. It was something that I was obviously just afraid to try because I knew there would be experimental processes. It may not be the best, but I still appreciate you guys sticking around and making it happen. All right, so let's talk about today's topic nonetheless. Oh, that also, what is that? Oh, that's because I'm enlarged. Okay, so there's a, what was I going to say? That reminds me that what you just saw in terms of the comments coming on the screen, the way they came on the screen, that's part of the reason why we're going down to just 2 locations so that these live streams get better and easier experience for you and for us so that we know exactly we're not missing any of the comments. So if you haven't gone on over to facebook.com/Cashflow Diary Live, then you probably want to get there. All right. I simply want to share something that is relatively common and simple, I would assume, or at least I hope, or at least it becomes common and simple for you. And it's just simply the concept of, and so I'm going to just ask a question, right? This is what I'm going to ask right here. Here's the question. When, and I want you to write this in the chat. When, if you have an answer, write this in the chat. When do you become, still learning to use these markers apparently, become or reach, try the other white one, reach, there we go, success. Got it. When do you become and or reach success? When does that happen? Is the question. When? Like when? Like actually a time. I'm looking for a spot in time when that has or will happen for you right there. So because I find, and I know for myself, because we can all play games with each other and ourselves and whatnot, thinking one day when I become successful, when I make it, when I'm X, Y, and Z, then I will, right? Because that's typically the game, that's typically how we talk, at least out loud, about the things that we want to. You just like, if I or when I, because we say if I or when I, and then only under these conditions, like once these conditions are, whoops, there we go. It's a situation in which under these conditions, then then and only then can I. And there's a reason I want to bring this up, right? Is because we end up putting ourselves like, so if I, or when I, or then can I. Meaning, we often will say things like this to ourselves to simply represent that I am not successful until this previous condition is met. And if this previous condition isn't met, then I am not successful. Those are, okay, it can end up being very, very challenging, at least on your psyche, simply because if one requires the other, but the first, you've never done something. If there's something that you have never done, and it could be simply tying your shoe. If I've never tied my shoe, if I've never built a website, if I never, whatever, I don't get the enjoyment of those particular feelings. Peter says, I reach success when I can navigate my environment to the benefit of myself, family, and community. I am successful now. Absolutely. I like that. I especially like those last 4 words. I especially like those last 4 words. I am successful now. It has been my experience that oftentimes we wait for someone else to give us that moniker, that designation before we feel it. So I guess the question becomes, when would you like to feel successful? Like, when would you like that to happen? Because there is a way to feel successful right now, right? Even if you don't, even if you've never accomplished any of the things that you want to, so to speak. There is a way to still feel successful at the current moment. And oftentimes, we don't feel like, I know in business, back in 2008, 2007 and 8, when we were dealing with the basics of where am I going to eat? Are the police coming to kick us out today? How are we going to do X, Y, and Z? There was nothing about our situation and circumstance that would go, ooh, they're going to be successful, or that success, that looks like something I would want to model or do or be in some way, shape, or form. There was literally nothing about that. Nothing about our situation that would give anyone that impression, because it was very, very challenging just to be around, because it was not, it just wasn't that great. It just honestly wasn't that great. And what's in front of you can be very, very overwhelming from time to time. Dean says, when making the living and lifestyle you want for your family doesn't feel like work. Excellent. Now, I like the way I literally read his name, then called him Dave. Anyway, sorry, Dean. What I like what he says here is like, when making the living and lifestyle you want for your family doesn't feel like work. So with Dean's definition here, let me ask you this. If, and I'm just making up numbers so that people can have some sort of relative measure, if what you do is deliver pizza and you're excited for delivering pizza, you enjoy the process of delivering pizza, and you and your spouse or kids or what have you get to do the things that you guys enjoy with all of the things that come along with that, and it doesn't feel like work, according to Dean, that would be successful, right? And here's the thing, he's 100% right, because sometimes we can put ourselves in a situation in which, until I meet someone else's definition of success, and the most important thing you can do, especially when you're building a business, especially when you're striving to become more, okay, is to understand that it's your definition that matters most. It's your definition that matters. Because you'll be experiencing failure events, because there is no such thing as a straight line from A to B, it's your definition that matters most. Because you need to get you to do the things that you know you want to do, need to do, etc. for example, I know one of the things that has always been important to me, right, is choice. Just the ability to choose, right? Making sure that if something is going to happen, that I have the ability to exercise a choice, right? So when people ask me for things like, or definitions around, like if I'm being interviewed and they ask, what is the definition, or what about when did you get to financial freedom, which I still find a very interesting question. To me, it's not even so much about the numbers as much as it is about choice, right? Do I have a choice? And if so, do I have the capacity, ability, desire to actually exercise it? So long as my choices are preserved and not being removed, I'm probably in a happy state, if that makes sense, which has nothing to do with necessarily dollar amounts or any of those things that we sometimes can say, right? Once I have that car, then I'm successful. Or once, I'm, I don't know, married, then I'll be happy. We often put something in front of us, preventing us from feeling the thing, right? Once this pandemic is over, then I'll be happy. Once I have my job back, then I'll be excited. Once I get get my unemployment check, then I can breathe. Once or maybe you applied for one of these. Sorry, I still struggle with all of these loans and this SBA stuff that they're talking about. It's just funny to me, or ironic, how the reality versus what they call it on the news versus whatnot. So maybe it's once I get the money from the SBA, then I'll be on my way. The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a principle. There it is. There's a principle that keeps us as humans completely unhealthy, right? Completely unhealthy. And here it is. What that does is it defers hope. Period. When we live, talk, speak, walk, act this way, we continue to defer hope. It's always out in the future. It feels like a carrot that we keep kicking down the street. We got to keep working. We got to keep doing some more thing. It becomes the thing that we never obtain. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. We keep deferring it. I've said all this to say, one thing that has become apparent, at least to me, and something that I've been helping a lot of individuals think about as we continue through this thing, this experience, this life that we're having right now. I don't even know if I'm making this up, but when we experience a catastrophic event, we can delay, defer, focus on the fact that we can't be happy right now. That's not right, because this other thing is going on, and it doesn't make sense. But the challenge is we're not in control over that. More importantly, we keep deferring hope. Worse is that when you are in a situation like we all are right now, I keep calling this a rolling catastrophe, right? It's like every day you wake up and the tsunami hits all over again. Every day you wake up, the tsunami hits all over again. And various and different ways. Because there's three phases that we must get through, and hopefully we'll get through them together, right? There's the during the crisis, there's the immediately after the crisis, and then there's the new normal. And I just, like you, I want new normal here yesterday, but we don't know, because we're still during the crisis. We are right here, and we may be right here for a while, more than we want. And then we get to immediately right after the crisis where things will change again. And that's the stress of the situation. And then we get to whatever new normal is going to be. My concern is that there's a lot of good, there's a lot of potential, there's a lot of things that are wrapped up in each one of us. But language like after X, Y, and Z, then I will be successful, then I will be free to pursue, then I can go and actually make something happen. Deferring your hope isn't necessarily a sign of strength. Yeah, I get the concepts of delayed gratification, but your success, your emotions, your capacity, your ability to achieve, perceive, and to influence and help someone isn't dependent upon the circumstances that you're currently experiencing. Just don't defer your hope, start today. I mean, I think that's kind of been the thing I've said all month in some way, shape, or form, is start today. Literally now o'clock. Figure it out. Start before you're ready. Experience it now. Come up with smaller milestones that you can control so that you can motivate yourself to do the things that you currently feel like and believe are impossible, not for you, out of your reach, grander than anything you could possibly imagine, right? Like, wow, right? Here's why I'm saying that. For many of you, you're like me. Here's what I mean by this. You don't know what's trapped inside of you. You don't know yet what you're capable of. No one's maybe ever told you you're going to be successful, blah, blah, blah. And it's hard for you to believe sometimes the words that I am saying. If that's something you can relate to, do me a favor, just put a little hand emoji in the chat. You know, when someone says to you, hey, I see this in you, and I think that that's the thing that will help you to become a bigger, better, badder version of yourself. Or yeah, you can totally do this. Sometimes your instinct is, I'm not sure you're talking about me. Maybe my brother, maybe my cousin. Have you met my friend? Maybe my spouse. I don't know. Sometimes, you know, because we can have that idea in our head. And it probably even wasn't our idea, but it's definitely something that we have to deal with. So my point, my hope, my desire is that even though that may be how you feel, that you don't let that get in your way. With that, there's a resource that I want to share with you that is free, right? It's literally free. It's because, well, sometimes the free thing is actually worth more than the paid thing, if you know what I mean. Okay, and that's really where I'm coming from. So now with that, before I do so, I just want to make sure that you understand why this particular resource is important to me. Because when we were first getting started, as I said before, I wasn't exactly in the best of environments. I could not depend on my circumstances for the excitement. There was nothing that you would look at to go, ooh, yes, every day this is going to fire me up and I can do it. That wasn't there. And it had to be, I had to adjust my perception and manufacture reasons to feel successful in some way, shape, or form. I had to learn to focus on the process or progress that had been achieved, right? And doing that, well, that took a lot of consistent application of many of the things that I've suggested. One of those things is, and I'm giving this to you hoping that you pick it up. If this is you, if any of these things have related to you, here's something that you can begin to do, right? Is to write down 1, 2, 3. Today, oh, sorry, that's past tense. I am successful because, and then fill in that answer 3 times somewhere. Begin to write that down. I don't even care if it's a scrap of paper. Just begin to write it down. Now, I did say write, not type, so that it will make a difference. I don't understand the psychology behind it, and I don't really care anymore about that one. I just write it down. Today, I am successful because it can be something really easy. Today, I'm successful because I remember to hug my children. Assuming you're in a situation right now where you can actually hug your children. Today, I'm successful because I actually obeyed social distancing rules. Way to go. Today, I'm successful because maybe you're a healthcare provider and you're continuing to get up and go, and you did it another day. The amount of stress that's on you right now is immeasurable, and yet you keep going. Today, I'm successful because I kept going. I got out of bed. Today, I'm successful because I woke up and I decided to watch this. Today, it doesn't matter to anyone other than you. And my point is, doing this will build you to the point where you might be willing to do something that currently you're afraid of, that you're scared of, because you can begin to build this body of evidence of belief for yourself so that you can properly begin to step into the greatness that's inside. Each one of you, even the person who is hiding out, not typing in the chat, I'm talking about you. Okay? Yeah, there's greatness inside of you too, okay? Because that's there. Here's what I want to say to you. When you are focused, either when you get so laser focused on the goal and you realize what you're not, or you want to achieve something and you're like, oh my gosh, this is hard. I've never done it before. Instead of learning to focus on the process, and progress is important, but also being able to take in ideas from outside of yourself is equally so. Action is the thing that the marketplace rewards. It's what it wants to see from you. And you must be willing to become someone new, okay? At the end of the day, that doesn't happen just by participating in live streams, because I'm imagining you're doing a lot of that right now. That doesn't happen just by reading another book. That doesn't happen by wanting it. It only happens through the process, through the struggle, through the strife, through the whatever, okay? And I'm hoping that I can encourage you. And here's literally what I want you to do today. And I don't really care what it is, but I want you to fail at something. Like anything. Please. Fail at something. Okay? Anything. Something that's along the lines, along the journey, towards the thing or things that you've always thought you could never. Fail at something. And understand, I'll be here tomorrow to support you through your failure, whatever that failure event might be, okay? Because I still want to see it. So, and let me be clear, all right? Tomorrow, when we come here and when we're talking, I'm still delivering. So like I said, you probably heard me and I don't want to get it confused. Yes, tomorrow I will be doing a presentation all day, but they're spaced out, right? So small little quote unquote breaks, if you will. During one of those breaks, I'm gonna come back here with you guys, specifically to make sure that you failed at something, right? So don't think because I'm doing presentations all day to tomorrow and Thursday that you're somehow like off the hook. Oh, he's not coming. No, I'm coming. I'll be right here because I want you to fail at something. Understanding and learning to experience failure is really, really key. Now, here's something that was able to support me through the mindset shift That for some reason I can't say that too fast without really thinking about it. The mindset shift that's required in order to become someone who now provides opportunity to other people via jobs and whatnot. This part of what was there is a serious mindset shift that is required. There's a book out there that is so old it's free. Okay, and what I want you to do is, well, it would help you tremendously for you to go out there and get a copy and read the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Now, I know I'm showing it to you on Amazon. It's only because it's displayed properly here. But you can find a PDF of this at literally no cost, okay? Pick it up. Now, if you want the audiobook, if you're more of an audiobook person, totally get you, got it, understood, and you might, pay a few bucks for that. But it's something you can pick up today and finish today, okay? You can pick it up today, finish it today. And then what I want you to do is to fail at something, okay? And in the same fashion as you have done here with me, I'm hoping that you are willing to share something you've learned from the book, right? I'm hoping that you become more willing to share something you've learned from the times you've experienced failure, right? I'm hoping that that's the case, because it is through those events that you and we become stronger. It's through the pressure, it's through the times when you're ready to quit and give up that you become inspiring, that you become more valuable to the marketplace. And unfortunately, society typically has made it very, very wrong to do the very thing, to fail, in order to become what you've always wanted to be. But now is a unique opportunity for each and every one of us, right? Everyone, it almost feels like a reset button to me to some degree. It's an excuse, right? Do you realize how great of a gift this is? Because no one will ever fault you for saying, like, hey, how come that thing didn't work out well? I started it during the pandemic with, COVID-19 and it just didn't work out. Almost everybody will forgive that and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. They won't even ask any more questions. You literally have a get out of jail free card where no one's gonna hold it over you because they will all go, oh yeah, that makes sense. So we can't stay the same way. Now, you have it, go try. No one is going to fault you more than they should in the future for having tried, especially right now. That's exactly what you will hear. Oh, that makes sense. I understand. I'm sorry that happened. They will be more compassionate than ever, right? They won't be laughing at you. And what's even better is that for those of you who decide, who continue, who pursue, who develop, this is what I personally see psychologists as well, psychiatrists. I think we already talked about ADHD and all the stuff and autism. That's like my world. So, and my psychologist called me, or the word she likes to use is resilient. She called me one of the most resilient people, right? And it's that resiliency that I believe we all have to develop, right? To take the hit, to get back up, to try again. And to do so, and if you can do so in an environment where failure doesn't have a consequence, oh man. And that's honestly kind of what I see right now, is that everyone will forgive you for trying right now, because it seems to make sense. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have made it either, not during that time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And which also makes it that much more surprising and amazing to me that for those of us who go out there and add more skills to ourselves and become something different, you realize how much more inspiring and amazing you, well, already are and are going to be. I don't know why that brings a smile to my face, but it does, right? The idea that you would be brave enough, willing to try and become something more absolutely gets me fired up. And that's, again, that's probably why I do a lot of what I do, because people ask me all the time, how come I get this question more than I like. I don't even understand. Why don't you just go get more units for yourself? Or why don't you blah, blah, blah? Because I don't know. I've been there, done that. I feel like I've already gotten all the things, so to speak, to some degree. Not all the things, but in the sense of I derive greater joy from inspiring someone else to go achieve than I do from achieving more of the same thing myself. Anyway, I don't know. And this is actually an interesting time for me, because normally when I'm giving talks like this, I'm in the physically same room with the people, right? And now I'm not, right? I'm not at this exact moment in the same room with you, but I kind of am. But I don't have the visual feedback to know that, what I'm saying is something that is making sense to you. So, but I hope it is. I hope it is at the end of the day. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Is I still want to know, one thing that you learned today from what we shared. Please type that in the chat right now. One thing that you learned today, because I want to, it helps the teacher, if you will, if you want to call me such, to know that they're resonating, that the students are listening, that something that's being said is helpful in some way, shape, or form. Something is being said is helpful. And to be clear, it doesn't even have to be earth-shattering, impactful. It just needs to know, did you hear me today? Because if I can translate anything, is that there's nothing. Every human on the planet is just a human being. There may be some special talents that they have, because all of us have something. But outside of discipline, consistency, hard work, if you will, focus, resiliency, determination, these are all things that you can develop yourself and work at, and let them become skill sets. This is why failure is so important, because the height of your success is built on your pile of failures. So, but you've got to be willing to do it, not just wanting to experience feeling good. So I'm hoping in some way, shape, or form, this today has been indeed as helpful as it has been for me when people have given me permission to fail. And this is one of the reasons I know for a fact that, my wife is like the right one, because there's very little that will stop a man in general. It's dead in his tracks if he cannot win the admiration of the one that he cares about. And having the permission to go charge the hill, knowing that death and failure is possible, gives you the freedom to be you, gives him the freedom to be the best version of you, to want to try. Because I can't imagine that there's a husband out there who doesn't want that, but he's afraid to lose, quote unquote, something that's way more important to him as a human being. And I don't know if you know that guy if you are that guy, if you are that person. But I certainly hope that something that I've said will give you the courage to try. And if you don't have that environment or that supportive individual who can give you the space to fail so that you might figure out what your greatness is, come back. Come back here and we'll be that for you as best we possibly can. Okay? So let's see what you guys had to say today because I'm actually curious. I'm actually curious. Now, for those of you on Facebook, let me remind you, we are still experimenting with the Facebook comment thing, but that's why I'm asking you to get over to facebook.com/Cashflow Diary Live, because that particular Facebook page, let me show you what that Facebook page looks like to make sure that we're all on the same page, because I don't want nobody upset, right? Because the technology and all the stuff that we're using only gives us so much ability. So this is what that looks like right here. Okay, so it just says Cashflow Diary right here. This is the new one. That's what it looks like. You want to make sure that you get over here, click that like button, wherever that is. I don't even know. But you want to get over there. And this is what it should look like at the top, okay? Now, I know that there's another Facebook page. That's the one we used to use. This one right here is the one most people are at, I think. Yes. And it looks like this. Totally understood, okay? Point is, moving from here to the new place, okay? Because we want to make sure that you can have the complete experience and that we don't miss any of your comments. Because that's part of what's happening, is that it gets easy to miss some of your comments. And I don't want to do that. I want to interact with you, especially when I'm asking you to type stuff. All right. Let me see, where do we go? Whew. Sorry, I don't know why that one today was a lot for me. Today was a lot for me. It's all good though. I'm not complaining at all. Love it. Okay. Let me see. Let's see what you guys had to say. So let's hope that this thing keeps working. I get so excited about these new things that I'm learning. We've got Kamika says, I learned that I don't have to wait for someone else to tell me that I'm successful. That success can be seen even in the little things. Yes, and I like how you put, Kamika, the little in quotations, because little is totally up to us. We get to decide what little is. No one else. Because I promise you, when we were squatting in bank-owned property and all that stuff, little, no one would have said yes. No one was going to pat me on the back for remembering to brush my teeth that day. But part of the reason I keep saying that one is because given the current environment, who knows? There could be somebody right now in the chat, and I don't know you yet, but I know you're listening. And you're hiding out, and you're like, I want to be what he's talking about. I want to be like the rest of the people I see in the chat. And yet your goal, you're like, man, I've just been in this bed for 12 days straight. And you can make your goal as simple as get up, brush your teeth. Do that today, because that would be an accomplishment. I know exactly what that feels like. But that's also where everything else starts, is developing one small discipline and then building upon that. So absolutely, 100%, right? Peter says, in a way, I learned that there are successes inside my failures that I can extrapolate. Yes. Yes. This is why I want you to go fail at something. Because you can't, quote unquote, reach the mountaintop unless you stand on top of something else, right? And what you're going to stand on top of is a previous failure. So the faster you want to reach that mountaintop, you need to stand on more failures. Simple, right? In fact, and again, I keep bringing this up because it's just so present for me. But you guys, for those of you who are here from day one of this month till today, you've seen small changes and whatnot happening. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It is exactly what I'm talking about. Kimberly says, you are inspiring us. Thank you. I wish it would continue month after month. I hear you, and if I can't do it, yeah, you can too. Ooh, Kimberly, I don't know about all that. I don't know. We'll see. Stephanie, I find it extremely helpful that you're driving the message that failing doesn't equal failure. Yes, correct. It's a necessity to grow and learn and to get better. Yeah. Adriana says, I am thankful for your dedication to us, Jay. I am humbled. Adriana, you're welcome. I love because he loved us first. That's all I can say. I'm going to miss the daily morning positivity when April is over. Goodness gracious. Guys, oh goodness gracious. The Science of Becoming Rich. Yes, that is the name of the book, Adriana. That is the name of the Science of Getting Rich. Sorry, yes, that is the name of the book. Now he's talking to me because I already failed at something today, but I'm still successful. Yes, absolutely. Got it. 100%, Peter. You know it. You got it. It is, you got it. You got it. And then Adriana says something here that's really, really important that I hope all of us grasp, that we can continue to downplay our progress because maybe, again, and I don't know your situation, but maybe you did the best you could and you ended up with a B for a letter grade, and then your dad, your parent, your teacher, your whatever said, well, I guess if a B is all you can get, that's good enough. And you're like, but, right? And that's where you're left. And so therefore now you're in a situation to where you can't even perceive, something other than perfection as accomplishment. And that's just not the reality of the situation, right? It just really, really, really isn't. So, oh, man, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that, like I said, the things that we are sharing with you, the reason I've always wanted to do this is because I hope to demystify, I guess is the word I want to use, demystify some of the things that it takes in order to become what you always have been able to become. I don't want you to get that confused. You have always been able to do many of the things that you are going to now go do, right? It's just that now maybe you're willing to give yourself permission. Permission to believe, permission to try, permission to fail. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun talking to you guys today. I look forward to talking to you soon. Until next time.